वादीपाशातदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा dear devotees, welcome for this ongoing Bhakti Shastri course today morning. And we are going to start new book. The name of the book is Nectar of Instruction. So before we start, I request as far as possible, all of you can keep your videos on, and also please respond. Video on and respond. Respond in the chat, and whenever required, kindly please speak by raising your hands. And in the end, we will also have time for question and answers. So I have been requested and ordered to give this beautiful book, Nectar of Instruction, as a part of Bhakti Shastri on behalf of ISKCON Kanpur. And I realized that actually it's really very, very important book for all of us. And it can really transform our life. Although we all have read it, but Prabhupada has told that we should again and again read it more and more. So before we start this book, we all know about the book, The Nectar of Instruction. It's a commentary on Rup Goswami Shri Updeshamrit. So Updeshamrit has been written by Srila Rup Goswami, 11 verses. And on the commentary are His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, has written commentary. And that is a book which we all are going to study. So before we begin the book, I want to pray to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because it's very difficult to actually speak on subject matter which I am not following. And Nectar of Instruction is a book which takes a sadhaka from a kanishta level to uttama level. So therefore, this is a very difficult task, but I pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So all of you, even though you are muted, you all can also pray, because difficult task for all of us. So this is a prayer of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, which he prays in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 14.1. It says, Kathaschan smrite yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet vismrite vipritam syat Shri Chaitanyam namamitam. It says, things that are very difficult to do become easy to execute if one somehow or other simply remembers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So let us remember Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at ISKCON Kanpur, the Gaur Nitai, beautiful deities of Gaur Nitai. Both the Lords are standing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's left feet is coming in front. Nityananda Prabhu's right feet is coming in front. Both of their arms are raised and their clothes flinging in the air in the dancing mode. They are ready to bestow all blessings upon us. Let us remember Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he says, but if one does not remember him, even easy things will become very difficult. So if you have not remembered, please remember now. To this Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I offer my respectful obeisances. And but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we want to understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and get his blessings. It is impossible without getting the blessings of 6 Goswamis. So let us go for the blessings of 6 Goswamis, which is written by Srinivas Acharya in his Sri Shad Goswami Ashtakam, Para 2. I have taken the shloka relevant for our course. If my voice is not coming or any problem, kindly do let me know or send a chat message. Thank you. So let us read together wherever you are. Nana Shastra Vicharanai Nipuno Sadharma Samsthapako Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanya Karo Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Mataliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. It says, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis. namely, so all of us should remember these names. Shri Rup Goswami, Shri Sanatan Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jeev Goswami, and Shri Gopal Bhatt Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Radha and Krishna. So, dear devotees, let us also remember the six Goswamis in that famous picture, which every center has, every temple has the six Goswamis standing. And let us remember them because here Srinivasacharya is mentioning they scrutinizingly studied all the revealed scriptures. For what? For two things. First, to establish the religious principles and for benefit of all human beings. And therefore, he says that they are honored all over the three worlds, not only on this Prithvi Loka, not only on this earth planet or in ISKCON world. No, no. He is mentioning they are honored all over three worlds. Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Even Brahmaji also honored them. You know? And they are worthy of taking shelter. Worthy of taking shelter means if we take their shelter, no other shelter is needed. Why to take their shelter? Because they are already sheltered eternally, you know, in the mood of the gopis and engage in the loving service of Radha and Krishna. So let us remember those Shad Goswamis, and if you can quickly visit to their samadhis. You know. So now, dear devotees, this Goswamis, if you want to access, we need to have none other than our dear Srila Prabhupada. Without his blessings, we would not have been knowing about these Goswamis. So for next prayer, what already Prabhupada gave Markene Bhagavad Dharma. Markene Bhagavad Dharma Prabhupada wrote when he reached to the Boston Harbor, Boston Commonwealth Pier. And there in that prayer, Prabhupada is seeking benediction and thinking himself to be powerless. So we all are also powerless. At least I am very much powerless to speak on this nectar of instruction. But let us seek blessings of Srila Prabhupada and our superiors, our spiritual masters, so that actually we can enter into the meanings of nectar of instruction as given to us by His Divine Grace, A.S.Y. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada writes in the 11th stanza of Markene Bhagavad Dharma, he says, Ki kori bhujabo katha barose chai Shudra ami dinahina kono shakti nahi. He says, how will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? So generally, yes, we may think that these people are not qualified. Yes, the foreigners were not qualified. But look at the humility of Prabhupada. He says, I am very unfortunate, unqualified at most fallen. So actually, dear devotees, if you don't understand anything what I speak, so it's not your fault. Don't take yourself to be at fault. It's because I am unfortunate, unqualified, and most fallen. Therefore, I'm not able to explain so properly to you, or I may not be able to explain so properly to you. But yes, the words of Srila Prabhupada is very special. Therefore, we all can seek. Therefore, the Prabhupada writes, therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. But if all of you bless, then I can try to present this nectar of instructions for all of your pleasure. So please, dear devotees, again fold your hands and pray for me. to Srila Prabhupada that may Priya Govindas speaks in Parampara and not on his own, and may he speaks whatever you have given, so that we can all benefit from this message. Please pray for me also, Prabhuji. Okay, so after prayers are over, I wanted to ask all of you a question, that what is your expectation from this book, Nectar of Instruction? Because I am 100% sure we all have read it, and not only read it, our superiors might have taken it for us in camp and so many other forms, and we all might have gone through it, and even some of you might have taken these verses for your juniors. So I want to know what is your expectation. Please write in one word in chat what is your expectation from this book, and what you are looking for now in this Bhakti Shastri, what you are looking from this book. And meanwhile, I request all those devotees who are hidden behind the cameras, because they're so humble. They think if somebody will see my face, he will fall down, and he's not qualified to see my face also. So I request and I assure them, don't worry. They're already seeing my face. In front of my face, your face is not going to make them more fallen. So please kindly show your lotus face so that all devotees can be benefited. And we come to know that all of you are seeing. Thank you very much, those who have opened the camera. Yes, I am seeing here chat messages. And it says, Pushpendra Prabhu is telling to apply teachings in day-to-day life because this book is full of instructions. Yes, amazing. Practical teachings. Shri Nivas Prabhu says, practical guidance for advancing in Krishna consciousness. Yes, we all want to advance. That's good attitude. Ashish Prabhu is telling to increase my faith in Guru Parampara and try to serve them. Okay, Guru Parampara. Great. Actually, for your kind information, although this book has no shlokas directed towards Guru, but interestingly, the third shloka of this book, we are going to see, Prabhupada talks about Guru and disciple relationship. So Ashish Prabhu, we have something for you in this. Aman Prabhu is telling, Prabhuji, give me power so that I can follow footsteps of Goswamis. That's what Prabhupada is doing for all of us. Vishal Prabhu is telling, remembering again so that can use in life more and also to get the relishment by hearing to you. Okay. Relishment ka pata nahi, but yes, we can get more benefited if we hear again. So quickly write now. We are going to stop in 20 seconds. If those who want to write, just write in 20 seconds. After that, any more messages will not read. Then your name will not come in this session. It's going to record also, correct? So future, if somebody hears, he will remember that somebody told all of you. Mahasankirtan Prabhu is telling for more and more advancement in Krishna consciousness. Okay. So you are like Rasika devotee. You want to relish more and more. Prabhuji, just give me amras. Okay. Pranjul Prabhuji, depth of each verses. Oh, depth. You want to dive down. Akash Prabhu, as you mentioned that this book is for Kanishta devotees like me and want to apply the teachings in life to go ahead in Krishna consciousness. Okay, great. Kanishta like you and me all. Prabhupada mentions this. Shant Mishra to try to understand the mood of Goswamis and how to do bhakti properly. Yes. Prabhupada talks about that also. Rishabh, instruction for us by Srila Rupa Goswami, how to advance in Krishna consciousness. Yes. And finally, last, to practice sadhana bhakti nicely and hence can go to Rupa Anuga Bhakti. Great, amazing. So all of your goals are very high. Let's see how much we can fulfill them or how much we can, stick to those goals. So in today's session, what we are going to see is three things. First, we are going to see some introduction to this book, how this book came upon. Then we are going to see an overview of this book. And finally, for today's session, we are going to read the 4-paragraph preface by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada for this book, Nectar of Instructions. All of you can keep noting down your questions. At the end, we'll have time for that also. So first, let us go for introduction. So 4 things we are going to see in introduction of this book. First, the history of this book, how this book came upon. Second, about the author of the book. Third, about the commentaries which we are going to refer, and finally, the glorification of the book. So without wasting much time, let us enter at least into the history of this book. So it is said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always used to remain in the intense feeling of separation from Radha and Krishna during his last 18 years at Jagannath Puri Dham. And his constant associates were Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami, Ramanand Rai, and his servant Govind, and many others were also there. So once upon a time, what happened is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while he was going out near the ocean, on the banks of that famous ocean and of Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went into great ecstasy. And he went into great ecstasy, and absorbed in that great ecstasy of separation. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeling so much separation. All the devotees felt, my God, what is happening to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Let us do something to pacify him. Then Swarup Damodar and Ramanand Rai, they pacified him with some verses. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually came back to his normal consciousness. But as soon as he came back to normal consciousness, he started weeping. He said, why you brought me back? I was in Govardhan. I was in Yamuna. I was in Kunjas of Vrindavan. Why you brought me back? And devotees, composed him a little bit. And after getting composed, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave some instructions to his devotees. Those are the instructions, Prabhuji's, which are called Updeshamrit. Of course, at that time, it was not called Updeshamrit. Those instructions were noted down by Govinda, the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And later on, it was also told to Rup Goswami. And Rup Goswami, when he heard those instructions, he felt those instructions very, very important. But still, it was not available for us. Govinda wrote it in his diary. Rup Goswami also heard it. That's it. But how it came to us? So it is described when in Vrindavan, there's a big story cut short, when Rup Narayan arrived and he wanted a certificate, not Bhakti Shastri certificate. He wanted certificate that, now I am the perfect person, so nothing else is required. So that kind of certificate he wanted. So when he wanted this certificate, so that time, the Rup Goswami said, okay, please take sign directly. I don't want to have any debate from me, any debate from you. And he wrote the certificate to Rup Narayan that yes, I agree that I am defeated from you. But then Jeev Goswami came to know that how come Rup Narayan can defeat my spiritual master Rup Goswami. He immediately went and told that Rup Narayan, what do you think? Can you defeat Rup Goswami? Come to me and debate with me. And he defeated Rup Narayan. And then Rup Narayan came to know, my God, if the disciple is like that, what caliber the Guru must be. And then when Rup Goswami came to know that Jeev Goswami is doing this in Vrindavan, Rup Goswami said, Vrindavan is not a place for this. Vrindavan is a place only for service. No false ego, no competition, no envy, no comparing mentality, nothing. Just serve. And if you are having this mentality, you do not deserve to be in Vrindavan. And that is a time Rup Goswami gave him these instructions. Therefore, you will find the very first shloka of this book starts from nowhere. Directly the shloka talks about if you want to become a guru, vacho vegam mansa krodha vegam. If you want to become a guru. Which book starts by this question, if you want to become a guru? They all start with, okay, let us see what is guru, what is spiritual life. But why it directly starts? Because Rup Goswami felt, Jeev Goswami, you really want to become a devotee and preach it? First learn all these things. Of course, Jeev Goswami was playing a role to teach all of us. He is already humble. But sometime, Prabhupada used to give an example that mother-in-law, she chastises the daughter so that daughter-in-law can understand what is to be done. So similarly, Rup Goswami is chastising or giving this instruction to Jeev Goswami, but it is meant for all of us. And that is a time when it was written. Rup Goswami wrote these 11 verses, and that is how we got this 11 verses. So this is the history of the book. And the name of the book, also let us read. So it's very beautifully coined. Shri Updesh Amrit. Very simple meaning. Shri means all auspicious. Shri is added in front of Lord also. Another is Shri means Lakshmi ji, or Shri also means Radha Rani. So whenever Shri is added, that brings all auspiciousness. Updesh means instruction, and Amrit, nectar. So among all the instructions which are given, these instructions are like nectar. Srila Prabhupada writes to a letter, in a letter to Radha Vallabh. I request one of you can read the letter, please, if it's visible.
Srila Prabhupada letter to Radha Vallabh, Nellore, 5 January 1976. The nectar of instruction has come out very nice. It is very important and must be immediately read by all devotees. In the near future, we shall introduce the Bhakti Shastra examination for second initiation, and this shall be one of the required book of study. Anyone who reads it will immediately understand what Krishna consciousness is. Some minister in Bombay recently asked me how to create morality amongst the students because the students are all bounds. If this book is introduced to for study in the schools and colleges, it will give a clear idea of what morality actually is. It is a most important book.
Correct. Prabhupada is saying it has come out very nice and most important and immediately read by all devotees. Immediately. His Holiness Hanumat Prekshat Swami Maharaj. He says, I almost every day go through the shlokas of this book. So actually, all of us can make this point that for whatever number of sessions we are going to read this nectar of instruction, let us try to compile these 11 shlokas and recite them every day. And let us see at the end of this book who all remembers all the 11 shlokas by heart, so that we can keep on reciting them throughout the life. Prabhupada is saying is immediately read. And anyone who reads will understand what Krishna consciousness is. And Prabhupada is telling even for the material world, morality and everything, this book will help. So this is the meaning of this book. Now, and history of this book also we read. Now let us come to the author of this book, Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is about to give instructions to Rupa Goswami at Prayagraj, so Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he writes a very important thing about the Rupa Goswami. This is the shloka. He says, Vrindavanyam rasa keli vartam kalena luptam nija shakti mukta sancharya rupe vyatanot punassa prabhur vidhau pragivalokas shrishtim. Translation. Before the creation of this cosmic manifestation, the Lord enlightened the heart of Lord Brahma with the details of the creation and manifested the Vedic knowledge. In exactly the same way, the Lord, being anxious to revive the Vrindavan pastime of Lord Krishna, impregnated the heart of Rupa Goswami with spiritual potency. By this potency, Sri Rupa Goswami could revive the activities of Krishna in Vrindavan, activities almost lost to memory. In this way, he spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Sancharya Rupe Vetanot Punasa. So Lord has personally impregnated in the heart of Rupa Goswami. So of course, there are many things can be told about Rupa Goswami. And we all have heard, visited many a times his Samadhi, that how his worshipable deities are Radha Govind. And not only that, but Rupa Goswami was the one who understood the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore it says, Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadavi Swapadantikam. He was the one who understood the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he understood the heart, so we know that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was seeing the Rath Yatra in Jagannath Darshan, that time he wrote one shloka, and only two people understood the meaning of that shloka, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarup Damodar. And he spoke one shloka, and Rupa Goswami heard it, he wrote it, and with the meaning, he kept it inside the thatched house where Rupa Goswami was staying near Haridas Thakur's place. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he saw, what is that? He brought it out. He read, he said, this is a shloka. Nobody is supposed to know its meaning. Who wrote it? The Buddha said, Rupa Goswami. When Rupa Goswami came, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu slapped him lovingly. And said, how do you know this? And Rupa Goswami was having no answer. Today is a small boy, small kid. And such a big Acharya is asking, you can say Lord himself is asking what Rupa Goswami can allow. That time Sarup Damodar Goswami says, my dear Lord, we have only given him this vision to understand you. By your mercy only he has understood your heart. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased. And of course, we hear that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also gave him instructions in Prayagraj for 10 days. And not only that, all the Goswamis accepted Rupa Goswami as the leader. So this is the special Rupa Goswami, the author of this book, who has wrote this shlokas. Of course, we know that Rupa Goswami has not written anything on his own. It is revealed to him by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only. But he is the one who actually gave it in the form of a book. So therefore, we should also remember Srila Rupa Goswami's special contribution. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that we all are Rupa Nugas, followers of Rupa Goswami. He is the one who coined this term Rupa Nuga. So this is about the order. Much more can be said. In fact, classes after classes can be given about Rupa Goswami. Let us go ahead and see the commentaries which you are going to see in this book, on this book. So we are going to see the commentaries by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So commentary by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There are two commentaries, Piyush Varshini Vritti and Bhakti Aloka. So Bhakti Aloka is especially for the first three shlokas. So we may see if the time permits. And of course, little bit Piyush Varshini Vritti, commentary by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we may see in between. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur's commentary Anuvritti, because his father wrote Piyush Varshini Vritti, he said, I cannot surpass Anuvritti. Following on the footsteps of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I am writing Anuvritti. Like that, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur is writing. And Prabhupada has quoted this. In fact, in the starting shlokas, we'll find, and in even later shlokas also, Prabhupada gives his commentary, then he quotes the commentary of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And of course, our dear Srila Prabhupada, we are going to read. So first we will go through the readings of Srila Prabhupada, and then if time permits and the scope and all of us understand, then we'll go through the commentaries also. Finally, the glorification of this book. Already we read something Prabhupada said, immediately read. But who can read this book? You may think it's book for advanced people. Or for whom is this book? So let us read the glorification. So I request one of you can read the first letter to Rameshwar.
Regarding the nectar of instruction, why not distribute it to the common man? Every book is meant for everyone, but especially for the devotees. Please try to print a large number so that it can be distributed just like Sri Ishopanishad.
So Prabhupada is telling, 1976, regarding the nectar of instruction, why not distribute it to common man? The book distributor, Rameshwar Prabhu, might have asked him, that is the nectar of instruction for common man? Prabhupada said, yes, why not? So of course, we are not common. All of us are trying to practice bhakti. So we are counted in the second line, especially for the devotees. But even for common man, if you understand these instructions, it's beneficial for him. And it is so much beneficial. Prabhupada again emphasize this. Please read the next. Somebody else.
Room conversation with Sanskrit professor Dr. Sunesan, September 5, 1973, Stockholm. Prabhupada. And we have translated Pralaya Payodhi Jale, that is Dashavta Strota of Jayadev Goswami. We have translated Updeshamrit of Rupa Goswami, which is useful for general public.
Which is useful for general public. So as we read initially also, that in this book, even the instruction for morality is given. Even in general way, how to become successful is given in this book. So many times even the normal common man may ask us how we can do well in our work. So this instruction, Utsaha Nishchaya Dharya Tat Karma Pravartana, and also Atyahar Prayasa. So these all are practical instructions for everybody, for all common men. In fact, if all of us understand them, we can apply. And if some new boy is also asking, we can tell him also. So this is about the introduction. Let us go ahead about the overview of this book. So we are going to see what are the various themes and breakdowns of the shlokas. We're not going to go in details of this overview, but just for our knowledge, so that we can see this book from that point of view also. You can say it a bird's eye view of this book, so that Anytime, any problem you face in this issue, you can immediately refer to this section of the book. That is the purpose. So first, we will see there are various themes which are covered in this book by Srila Prabhupada. So these are the themes which are covered in the purports or in the basically commentary of Srila Prabhupada. Various themes. So it's not specific to the shlokas, but it is specific to the Prabhupada's commentary. So there are 7 themes which Prabhupada covers: mind and sense control, attitude of the followers, what kind of attitude devotees should have. He also talks about guru and disciple relationship. He talks about ISKCON's purpose. He also talks about sadhu sangha and its importance. He also talks about various kind of and levels of devotees. And finally, he also talks about the stages of bhakti and development of those stages. So these are the themes covered by Srila Prabhupada. Then we have Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He has given the breakdown of this book in this way, in the 3 sections. He says verses 1 to 7, they constitute Vedi sadhana bhakti. So they constitute the Vedi sadhana bhakti. Then verse 8 constitute Raganuga sadhana bhakti. And sorry, this last one is not 1 to 7, but it should be 9 to 11. So this constitutes Bhav Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. This is wrongly written, but it's Bhav Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. And also, this whole book can be divided as per the 9 stages of Bhakti advancement. 1 to 3 shlokas is for Shraddha, 4 to 6 is for Sadhu Sangha, 7 is for Bhajan Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, and Nishtha, Ruchi. So all these stages, if somebody wants to see what he should do, he should refer this shloka 7. Then 8 shloka constitute of Asakti, and 9, 10, 11, they talk about Bhava and Prem. So this is just an overview of the book. Now let us enter the main thing. That is a main topic for our today's discussion, which is the third preface of the book. So preface of the book, which is written by Srila Prabhupada, let us enter into it. So Prabhupada in the preface has given 4 paragraphs. And each paragraph, Prabhupada is highlighting or touching a very important points. So these are the 4 things which Prabhupada touches. First paragraph, he talks about Rupa Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and their relationship. Second paragraph, he talks about why this Updeshamrit is also very important. Third paragraph, he talks about the mode of goodness, which is very interesting thing. We are going to see when we see the preface. And fourth, he talks about the attitude of a devotee. And of course, that famous thing, become a Goswami. So let us enter. So this is paragraph 1. Yes, Prabhu, please, one of you can read.
The Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas or Bengali Vaishnavas are mostly followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of whom the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan are direct disciples. Therefore, Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung Ruparagnath Pade Raive Akuti Kabe Ham Bhujavu Se Yavdala Priti. When I am eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha and Krishna.
Correct. So, in this first paragraph, first thing Prabhupada tells, the Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Sri Rupa Goswami. Gives credit to Rupa Goswami, although Prabhupada establishes it. But he says it is conducted under the supervision of Rupa Goswami. And he says the Gaudiya Vaishnavas or Bengali Vaishnavas are mostly followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are direct, and for whom the 6 Goswamis are direct disciples. So first thing what Prabhupada is talking about here is supervision. What is special about the supervision of Rupa Goswami? So it is explained that Radha and Krishna are assisted by Ashtasakhi, and the leading among those Ashtasakhi is Lalita and Vishakha. And among them also the most leading is Lalita. And then assisting those Ashtasakhis are Manjaris. Each Sakhi has Manjaris. And the in charge of all those Manjaris is Rupa Goswami. So it's like Radha Krishna, under them is Lalita, under them is Rupa Goswami. So, but then one should say, "Arey, but then this movement should be under supervision of Lalita Sakhi because she is serving directly Radha and Krishna." But the interesting thing is, many times when Radha and Krishna in the grooves of Vrindavan and performing their various pastimes, the Sakhis are not allowed directly to enter. Or they themselves also don't feel to go and disturb the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And that is a time when they send manjaris. So the manjaris, they go and serve Radha and Krishna when they are performing their pastimes. So actually, they have been given this access, to this very special service of Radha and Krishna. And therefore, Prabhupada is telling that because Rupa Manjari is the one who is leading everything in spiritual world, and Rupa Goswami is also leading everything in this world also. And all the Goswamis, they accepted Rupa Goswami as their foremost guru. In fact, whosoever came to Sanatan Goswami for initiation, he just directed, like Jeev Goswami came to Sanatan Goswami. But Sanatan Goswami said, please go to Rupa Goswami. So especially the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavas who came from Bengal. Now, you will find we celebrate Guru Purnima. It is for the celebrating the disappearance day of Shila or appearance day of Shila Sanatan Goswami, who is considered to be Guru of whole Braja. But for Bengali Vaishnavas, the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami is the one who is supervising. And therefore he says, Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti Kabe Ambhuja Bose Jugal Priti. In this shloka, Prabhupada quoting from Narottam Das Thakur, he translates very important thing, Hoibe Akuti. What does Hoibe Akuti means? Prabhupada says, when I am eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. So devotees, please keep this point very important. Because until unless we do not understand the literatures of Goswamis, which is given to us by Srila Prabhupada, we cannot understand the transcendental loving affair of Radha and Krishna. Therefore, Shiksha is very important, not just Bhava. Now, most of the time, devotees feel, Are Prabhuji, even if I don't study, I know what is Sar, Hare Krishna mantra, and let's just chant and be happy. And I'm preaching or I'm doing some other activity. Yes, that is also very good. But if you want to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha and Krishna, we need to understand literatures. We need to have this shiksha so that we can understand. This is what Prabhupada is talking about. So you can note down these words also because a very important activity we are going to do at the end. You can note down supervision, meaning of equity, what all things signifies. Prabhupada continue in paragraph 1. Yes, please, somebody can read.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to bestow upon human society the benediction of the signs of Krishna. The most exalted of all the activities of Lord Krishna are his pastimes of conjugal love with the gopis. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani, the best of the gopis.
Complete.
Therefore, to understand the mission of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and follow in his footsteps, one must very seriously follow the footsteps of 6 Goswamis, Sri Rup, Sanatan, Bhatta, Raghunath, Sri Jiva, Gopal Bhatt and Das Raghunath.
So Prabhupada talks about two things. First, the benediction. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have appeared to bestow upon human society the benediction of the signs of Krishna. And what is that benediction which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to bestow upon? So, all of you know what is the benediction Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to bestow? Huh?
Love of God and
No, you are taking class. We are not taking class. You tell what is the benediction. Yes.
To show the
Krishna Prem.
Okay, we
How-
will by
how
those
does-
raising the hand. So Mahasankirtan Prabhu. Yes, please tell.
Krishna Prem.
Krishna Prem. Okay, take it. Priya Atma Chaitanya Prabhu. Please tell.
The glories of love of Srimati Radharani.
Okay, glories of love of Srimati Radharani. Great, amazing. Yes, Sandeep Prabhu. Last we will take words. Okay, we have
how to serve Krishna in the mode of Gopish.
Okay, how to serve Krishna in the mood of God. All of you already know many things. Yes, last we'll take Sashank Prabhu. Otherwise, we'll stop.
Prabhuji, the mood of a devotee and what is bhakti?
Okay, group of devotees and what is bhakti. So all of you have done very good analysis, and let us see the analysis of our dear Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He does it in Krishna Samhita. He said in Sati Yoga, Lord gave this Tarak Brahmanam, and the highest benediction what one could achieve was by chanting this name Narayana Paraveda, Narayana Parashara, Narayana Paramukhe, Narayana Paragati. He says that purport behind this mantra is that Narayan is the abode of all Vijnana, Mukti, and the ultimate goal. This is Aishwarya Gatana. It is Aishwarya, not Madhurya. So in Satyuga, if generally somebody would have come and chanted the holy name also, he would get something in Narayana or Vaikuntha. Then came Treta Yuga. Treta Yuga, the name Tarak Brahmanam is different. Tarak means the name for liberation. Tarak means liberation. It says Ramanarayan Ananta Mukunda Madhusudana Krishna Keshava Kamsare Hare Vaikuntha Vamana. Again, this name also, although in Satyuga, one chanting that Tarak Brahmana or Narayana Paraveda could achieve only Shantaras and Dasyaras. Because in Vaikuntha, mostly prominent rasas are these. But in Treta Yuga, when the name came, so one could achieve little more rasas, more than just Shantaras, but he can achieve Dasya and gets a glimpse of Sakhya rasas also. Because in this mantra, the names which are used, that is important. See, in the first mantra, only Narayan is used. In the second mantra, we see the Ram is used. The Ram also has many friends, Mukunda, Keshava. But all these names are used in terms of the functionality of the Lord. Madhusudan, killer of the Madhu demon. Mukunda, one who gives liberation. So it doesn't describe the innermost, dealings with in Vatsalya Rasa and Madhurya Rasa. Then came Treta Yuga. Very special name came. Hare Murare Madhuketa Bare Gopala Govinda Mukunda Sore Yagnesha Narayana Krishna Vishnu's Nirashrayam Mam Jagdisha Raksha. So in this also, maximum one could reach was, Gopal, the Vatsalya Rasas. So in Treta Yuga, when the Tarak Brahmanam came, one could achieve Vatsalya Rasa. And of course, Dasya Rasa and Sakhya Rasa. But speciality of Kali Yuga, the benediction which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, which many of you gave very wonderful answer, is this. Prabhupada writes, in the teachings of Lord Kapila, the son of Devuti, he tells, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches that we should only beg God for his service life after life. What does that service means? What kind of service? Which Prabhupada explains. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give us this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meant by giving that Mahamantra, he says, this is the actual meaning of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. We are actually addressing God and his energy, Hara. Hara is Krishna's internal potency, Srimati Radharani or Lakshmi, Jaya Radhe. This is Devi Prakriti. And the devotees take shelter of the Devi Prakriti, Srimati Radharani. Thus the Vaishnavas worship Radha and Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan and Sita Ram. In the beginning of Hare Krishna mantra, we first address the internal energy of Krishna Hare. Thus we say, Oh Radharani, oh Hare, oh energy of Lord. When we address someone in this way, he usually says, yes. What do you want? The answer is, please engage me in your service. This should be our prayer. So this kind of service, asking from Radharani, that is the highest benediction what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give all of us. And therefore, that mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is given to us by 6 Goswamis. So if we follow on the footsteps of 6 Goswamis, we will understand this mission. Otherwise, if we do not follow in their footsteps and read the books given to us by them, we will not be able to reach to this place, which all of you give very good answer of service or everything. But actually begging for Gopir Bhartu Pad Kamlyor Das Dasanadas, that point, that attention may be lost. That's what he says. Then let us go to the third paragraph. The second paragraph, why Updeshamrit? Yes, please. Prabhupada gives 2 reasons why we should read Updeshamrit. Somebody can read?
Srila Rupa Goswami was the leader of all the Goswamis, and to guide our activities, he gave us this Updeshamrit, the nectar of instruction to follow. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left behind him the 8 verses known as Shiksha Ashtaka, Rupa Goswami gave us Updeshamrit so that we may become pure Vaishnavas.
Correct. So Prabhupada is telling twofold features. First, he is telling how we should do our activities. So therefore, this book is considered very practical. Sadhana and Sadhya. So 4 books of Bhakti Shastri. 2 talks about Sadhya, means who is Lord. Which 2 books talks about Sadhya?
Bhagavad Gita and Ishopanishad.
And the remaining 2 books talks about the sadhana. In fact, once it was asked Prabhupada, what should be the position of Updeshamrit? Prabhupada says that when somebody reads Nectar of Devotion, now he wants to implement those things, he should read Updeshamrit. And therefore, first thing Prabhupada writes is to guide our activities. Second thing Prabhupada says is, it is comparing this Updeshamrit book to the Shiksha Ashtak verses written by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is a very powerful thing. Why Shiksha Ashtak verses? Because that was spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his ecstasies, describing complete the science of bhakti. And if you want to follow those verses of Shiksha Ashtakam, then first we have to learn to follow the verses, 11 verses of Updeshamrit. Then we'll become a pure Vaishnava. So there is a connection between both. That's what Prabhupada is trying to establish. Let us go to the 3rd paragraph. Please, somebody can read.
In all spiritual affairs, one's first duty is to control his mind and senses. Unless one controls his mind and senses, one cannot make any advancement in spiritual life. Everyone within this material world is engrossed in the mode of passion and ignorance. Third, one must promote himself to the platform of goodness, Sattvaguna, by following the instruction of Rupa Goswami, and then everything concerning how to make further progress will be revealed.
So this is a very special thing which Prabhupada brought into his preface. We generally talk about, Radha, Krishna, Prem, and all these things. But how we can reach to that place or that plane is first coming to mode of goodness. And Prabhupada was knowing this. That's why he gave. See, when we talk about transcendental plane, it's not a very cheap plane to reach. We cannot reach to transcendental plane. Prabhuji, I am transcendental. हम कभी कभी बोल देते हैं प्रभुजी ये भक्त तो transcendental थे. ना transcendental बहुत high plane है ना. So please mute Prabhu. है ना. So transcendental is very high plane. So at max we should try to reach mode of goodness. And therefore many times when we talk about transcendental morality, before transcendental morality it is asked that we should come to the level of morality. If we are not at the level of mode of goodness and we are calling ourselves transcendental, then I'm sorry, Prabhus, we are not transcendental. Just like nowadays, there is a buzzword people talk about, self-needs, self-care. But our Acharya says, first you know about self, na? If I am considering self to be body, what kind of care I can do for the body? Similarly, if I am not at the mode of goodness level, at the passion and ignorance, I cannot enter into that realm. We are going to see and discuss these all things later on, when we discuss the verses. Why it is important to come to the mode of goodness, and Prabhupada points out 3 easy reasons in preface. First, it is a first duty to control in all spiritual affairs. कुछ भी भक्ति कर रहे हैं, first thing is to control mind and senses, and control means goodness. Second thing, no advancement one can make. Prabhupada says one cannot make any advancement in spiritual life unless he control mind and senses. That means unless he is in mode of goodness, he cannot make any advancement. So if I am in passion, I am whole day working hard for my body and under the modes of passion and ignorance, and I am thinking I am making advancement. No. That's why we need to learn goodness, how to chant in goodness, how to read in goodness, how to get ready in goodness, all those things in goodness. So you can do this homework Next time you can give me this short messages. What all things you will now try to implement in your life in mode of goodness? Because now you understood the importance of goodness. And you are seeing that this thing in my life was in passion. Now let me do it in goodness. And third thing, Prabhupada, everything concerning how to make further progress will be. So if somebody is in goodness, everything concerning will be revealed to him. That means transcendence will be revealed. In passion and ignorance, it will never be revealed. This is what it is. We are going to discuss more about this in the shlokas when we go and enter into shlokas. And finally, the last paragraph is Prabhupada writes. Please, one of you can read.
Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. A follower in the Krishna consciousness movement should become a perfect Goswami. Vaishnavas are generally known as Goswamis. In Vrindavan, this is the title by which the director of each temple is known. One who wants to become a perfect devotee of Krishna must become a Goswami. Go means the senses and Swami means the master. Unless one controls his senses and mind, one cannot become a Goswami. First, to achieve the highest success in life by becoming
Why
a
to become
Goswami.
a Goswami, Prabhupada is mentioning here. Why it is important to become a Goswami and understand this book, Updeshamrit. These are the 3 points of importance of Updeshamrit. So, see with this angle. 3 points why Updeshamrit is important.
To achieve the highest success in life by becoming a Goswami and then a pure devotee of the Lord, one must follow the instructions known as Updeshamrit, which have been given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Second, Srila Rupa Goswami has given many other books such as Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Vigad Madhava, and Lalita Madhav. But Updeshamrit constitutes the first instruction for neophyte devotees. One should follow these instructions very strictly. Third, then it will be easier to make one's life successful. Hare Krishna.
So here, Prabhupada is talking about 3 things. Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on attitude. So Prabhupada talks about attitude. What kind of attitude? The attitude which are given in the verses of Nectar of Instruction. Not the attitude of karmis and jnanis. And more than that, the attitude of Sharanagati. So we will see while we will be reading the Nectar of Instruction, what attitudes are talked about in various verses. So those attitudes, if we have, then we will advance in Bhakti. And one of that attitude, beginning with, is self-mastery, which we saw about mode of goodness also. So again, Prabhupada is hitting this point. We should learn to control senses. Previously also he mentioned. That means come in mode of goodness. Please come in mode of goodness. So actually, therefore, initial verses, when we are going to see Updeshamrit, 7 verses, its main theme is come to mode of goodness, please. And then Prabhupada says about the importance of Updeshamrit in bringing one to mode of goodness. He says 3 things. To achieve highest success in life and become pure devotees. This is required. So that's what we want. And he says among various books, Updeshamrit constitutes the first instructions for neophyte devotees. Amazing, nahi? I don't know about all of you, but I am neophyte. And the first instruction is Updeshamrit. So therefore, it is a preliminary book which we should follow. And finally, Prabhupada says, then it will be easier to make one's life successful. Easier, it will be easier. Otherwise, bhakti will be tough. Prabhupada also mentioned many times this thing, bhakti is easier for one who is sincere and tough for who is unsincere. So, what does sincerity mean? Sincerity means following Updeshamrit. And Prabhupada concludes A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Vishwarup Mahotsav. Vishwarup Mahotsav is the same day when Prabhupada landed in America. So that was the day Prabhupada completed this book. Krishna Balram Mandir, Brahman Reti, Vrindavan, India, or wrote his preface. So now, there is a small exercise before we end. So you have to write down the conclusion of this preface in your book, notebook, or wherever. These are some highlights of the theme which we saw in Prabhupada preface. Supervision of Rupa Goswami, Akuti means studying the literatures, benediction of Radha Krishna, service, mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can be known only by Goswamis. And those Goswamis have told us to come in mode of goodness and follow the attitude. So all of you need to write 1 or 2 statements. Just write down whatever comes to your mind. Don't think much. It is not going to get published and in PPT. Just whatever comes to your mind, why I will choose Updeshamrit in my life. Just write 2 statements. I am giving you 2 minutes time. Write, and you should write it for yourself permanently, so that whenever you open that book, you see why I choose Updeshamrit. And send me in the chat also if you feel it's not personal. And then we will see one video and we'll end for this. Don't think much, just what comes to your mind. See, that what comes to your mind is coming in your heart. If you start thinking for a long time, then that means it's not from heart. It's like manipulating something. Just what do you read after all these themes? Anything conclusive? Why I want to follow Deshamrit? Anything which you want, which you feel in your life, just write it down. चैट में लिख दीजिए, जिससे मैं भी पढ़ लूं, मैं भी इंस्पायर हो जाऊं. Great, amazing. So how we should write is, I will follow Updeshamrit so that, because I will, ऐसा शुरू करना चाहिए, I will, है ना. ठीक है, अभी तो कर दिया, ठीक है. To become sense control, Prabhuji, because of the system, he can find best, because it helps me to practice the devotion service whole life to achieve the highest success in life to become a devotee. Amazing. To become Goswami following in footsteps to serve God, must cultivate good attitude, and it can be developed by reading this. She's good understanding of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, amazing. It seems others are thinking. So for those who are thinking, I have a last slide for all of you. Prabhupada is telling something. Please see. Please hear, huh? Stop writing and just hear this. You can also see the subtitles coming.
Read it. If you don't read, then you will feel restless. Let me go from Japan to India, from India to Japan. You are restless because you don't read. I am laboring so hard for you, but you don't take advantage. Don't take advantage of eating and sleeping. Take advantage of this book. Then your life will be settled. My duty I am giving so valuable things. Day and night. You can think each word to word. And if you don't take advantage of it, then what can I do for you?
Prabhupada is telling, I have done my duty. You are restless because you don't read my books. So please write down in your book why you want to read Updeshamrit. And we'll meet you next week, Monday, with first text. Okay, we have some, I will follow Updeshamrit's supervision, guidance, and Bhakti, so that I can teach you Prabhupada and I have to perform advancing Bhakti and NOI life. Thank you. I don't know, you do question answers during the class or devotees write it? How we do it? From my side, I've ended, but it's time also. How we should do question answers? Who
the devotees raised hand, then you can ask. Devotees raised hand.
Okay. So now the time is up. Maybe next time we will give more time for question answers. And from this session also, if you have time, if you have question, then you can please note it down. And next meeting will meet. Thank you very much for all of your enthusiastic and attentive participation. And I hope and pray those who have not opened the videos and shown their beautiful smiling faces will do it next time. Thank you very, very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.